W's are in the house. We got. Hey, national media did not respect us. You know what we said to national media? We went, that's what we think. Rebuild. Oh, we should trade over every asset we got away because we're rebuilding. No, we beat a team that, let's face it, is going to be a fight for its division up for a division crown. Yeah, this is a team that isn't bad. They're not great either, but they showed things. Justin Jefferson goes off in the first half, and I'm like, how are we going to slow this guy down? We figure it out, and by gosh, all I got to say on that was,
that was awesome. That was f***ing awesome.
It's awesome, and it is the Buccaneers. They get the win. It is 20-17. It was a low-scoring game. Hey, this defense is legit. We've been saying it all year. Me and AJ turn up on the Aftermath, always talking that good Buccaneer talk. The Buccaneers pull it out. That pass rush was relentless. Coverage has to get fixed. I believe in the second half, we really did kind of make a lot of strides. It was like, Justin, who? Justin, who? Justin, I don't know who he is. But yeah, he went off to begin with, and then that's all he wrote. And he checked out the game, and that was it done. We figured some things out. So great work on Bowles. Did I like the fact that he challenged? No, I didn't see it. Personally, I was like, nah, that's short. That's short. He rolls. When a guy's rolling, just leave it. Just leave it. But it did affect us in the game. And Baker, I tell you what, Baker made the plays when he needed to make the plays. And he did really, really well when we needed him to. So, hey, drinking a bit of red wine, a bit of sophistication. It usually goes with the meal that I'm eating at the time. But hey, sour grapes for the Vikes. They're sweet ones for us. So, guys, this is a post-game show. You won't get any further than that. And you know what? You always got to get a little bit of Now we're getting shady. Now we're getting shady on this. All right, guys. So you want to comment? Get your comment in. Appreciate it. Some Ghana. Hey, respect. Enjoy the win, Buccaneers fans. We got Victory Monday coming up. Get your fantasy teams out. Stick your red zone on. Actually, that's what I'm going to be doing. I've been watching a little bit at the end of the Rugby World Cup. Shady vibes. Yeah. That's what I'm all about, the shady vibes. Audio's a bit muffled. I do apologize. I do have a fan on it. We have a heat wave in the UK, so if you can't hear me very well, I do apologize. Told the wife to turn it off. She knows. She's a good egg like that. She brings me my shades, pours me wine, and keeps me a very happy man. So hopefully the audio is a little bit better now. So, guys, what did we get out of this? Well, we started slow, and I was honestly at the point where I'm thinking, what? Did I run out of cold beer? Nah, it just so happened that it was with dinner. So, when it's with dinner, I'll drink wine any day of the week, especially red. I'm all about the reds, the goth in me, I guess. Oh, I keep boozing. Anyway, we get boozy. When you win, you get the drinks in. When you lose, you booze, right? That's the way it is. But this Buccaneer football team, guys, I was looking at Baker. I got to the halftime. I put my halftime stuff out on my socials. And I'm like, maybe the Buccaneers may have to consider putting Trask in and see what Trask looks like. Is Trask trash or is Trask, right? We didn't need to because he goes down the field, he scores, and we're like, okay, if he can capture that and put it into the next drive, which evidently he does. So he does it. We're smiling, we're profiling, and it feels good. Mike Evans got a big snootful in this game. Great work for Trey Palmer. I love the fact that he got himself a touchdown. Really legit. Like, when you got a 6th round pick making touchdowns to help you win games, it means a heck of a lot. Defensively, Cotton Davis struggled to begin with, containing Justin Jefferson, who went off to begin with. And then after that second half, man, I don't know what adjustments were made exactly without going through the tape. But I was massively impressed in how they dealt with this team. I didn't hear Justin Jefferson's name barely called in the second half. So that's a good thing. If I'm looking at this team now and I'm like, hang on, my biggest doubt was left tackle. Okay, the left tackle position wasn't played amazingly well, but it was so serviceable. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Sorry, not left tackle, right tackle position. My apologies. The right tackle position was so much like, you know what I didn't get a holding call on that guy on a scoring drive. And we know who that guy is, right? That guy who played for the Chiefs. Yeah, that guy helped negate a touchdown, helped the Chiefs get that loss. Yeah, that was our guy. Not anymore. We've gone with Luke. We've moved Tristan Wirfs over, and we put Luke get a key in there at right tackle. Go Bucs, Christopher Cole. Let's go, baby. Check out Christopher Cole. He has really good stuff on social media. So if you check out Christopher Cole on all your social media stuff, that is a dude. He is an absolute stud. Check him out. But that being said, this offensive line, I'm happy with the production, considering they have a decent pass rush. They have a good pass rush. It's not elite. I wouldn't call it an elite pass rush. I call it a good pass rush. And I'm really pleased in how the Buccaneers dealt with it. It took Baker a minute. I don't know if that's maybe a little bit preseason fatigue that he hasn't played. Preseason rustiness. Hasn't played that much. Hadn't really got himself into the world of football yet, and now he really isn't. And he gelled really, really well when he needed to. I like the fact they didn't go away from the run game. The run game was not great to begin with, but it was useful in key points of the game, and sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes you don't need to have a big run, a big run, and a big run. Yeah, that helps because you're going to score points off it. But sometimes you just need a chug and run. And I like that from this Buccaneers team. I thought we were really smart when we needed to be. It was a real battle, to be fair. Yeah, I agree, Christopher Cole. They do need to have a little more reps. I think that's the problem. You can see across the league, you're going to see preseason rustiness because everyone's scared about getting their guys hurt, right? And that's what you see. I also think that Christian Darrisaw came out, or he was banged up on a few plays. I don't know if he went back in because I tend to fall asleep when they talk about Minnesota. I thought the national broadcast was a little bit biased to them. Like, it was almost like, how dare we march in there and win? Of course, Tiki was keeping it down for us, because his brother was a Buck, and so he gives us a bit of love. So shout out to Tiki. For a second, I thought we had Rondé on the broadcast. It took me a minute. So once they got our halftime, I see Tiki there. I'm like, all right, we're good. So, Buck fans, those 6 of you watching right this second, give me things that you are happy with and things that you're bad with, and we'll discuss. Otherwise, I will just go on about it. But let's have a little look at this Buccaneers football team. Kirk Cousins goes 33 of 44, and we know most of those misses were in the second half, right? 2 touchdowns and 1 INT. Baker, mistake-free. Take that in. Mistake-free. The yardage isn't impressive, but the poise was, right? This defense, and me and AJ have time and time again told you this is an elite defense. Yes, we got burnt a little bit, but always rely on Bowles to figure it out, right? He can't figure out every game, but rely on Bowles to figure a team out, and they did just that. They come out in the second half and really show themselves up in a good frame of mind. So I'm really pleased with everything that they did defensively after the fact, right? Because let's face it, the Bucs, they're our boys. I'm really pleased with what we got. Devin White was banged up on a play, got back in, so I'm happy with that. He got himself a ridiculous amount of tackles. We're going to go through a little bit of that now. Alexander Madison, I thought he had a pretty good game. When I look at the yards, 11 carries for 34 yards. Bye-bye. That wasn't great. Rashad White on our side, though, he gets 17 carries for 40 yards. We've got Justin Jefferson, 9 receptions for 150 yards. He was really good. No touchdown for him, so that's all he wrote. Mike Evans goes 6 for 66, so he's averaging 11 yards a catch. So we'll take that, and he gets the touchdown to get us rolling. This is our guy, Mike Evans, the contract dispute and things like that. All I can say is, Bucs fans, it's not over yet. Mike Evans feels the love of this season from the fans, and the Buccaneers are having a good season. I've told you this. The Buccaneers have a good season. And I mean this. The Buccaneers have a good season. We get to the trade deadline, and the Buccaneers are above 500, which means we're playing winning football. Mike Evans is going nowhere, and they will do whatever they can to re-sign him. I do believe, however, if the Buccaneers are at the trade deadline and they are in a deficit of more losses than wins, they may look to trade Mike Evans before the trade deadline just to get something out of it, because they'll go into full rebuild mode, right? We know that. Right now, it doesn't look like a rebuild. I didn't think it was a rebuild. Go check my stuff out. I got a great video covering the Buccaneers preseason post Brady PB. Check it out. Like it, share it, comment. I appreciate it. It's a good 10 minutes long, but it covers everything. It's a very Scooter Magruder-esque video, so I'm really proud of it. But we'll go through this, and I'll tell you what about Chase McLaughlin and that 57-yard field goal? I think some of us were all going, is he really going to call that right now? Why don't we just go for it and fall down? Guy nails the kick. I couldn't believe it. It looked like he had extra to spare, to be honest. That's all we need sometimes. Buccaneers have been devoid of kickers for a good while. Like, since I've been a Bucs fan, all I can remember. I mean, I wasn't there those days when we had a good kicker. I'm now here where we were like, oh, God, who's kicking for us now? Who's kicking for us now? Will this guy fix the kicking problem? Chase McLaughlin looked really good. Nails an absolute bouter. Good English word there. Absolute bouter of a 57-yard field goal. I don't know if that's a Buccaneer record or anything. I'll have to check. I don't think it was, because they didn't say it in the broadcast. So, and we just look at what we've done as a team. Like, let's go through Kirk Cousins. So Kirk Cousins gets himself 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, and INT. Taken off Christian Eisen. I'll go with Isen. I'm not sure of the pronunciation, but that's our nickel guy. He can play safety too. So he did a great job for us. Undrafted free agent. And I'll tell you what, Sean Tucker turned up. He put the team on his back when he needed to. When he got his totes, he toted the rock, and we pushed the ball down the field, and we burnt the clock. Rashad White, it's almost like he's like, shit, I might lose my job. I better start performing. And he does his job, gets it out there, and we're enjoying football again. Guys, make no mistake, this Buccaneer football team, it was a rusty start, but it was a great start. I predicted us to win originally 20-28. Obviously, that goes 20-17, but I'll take it. Defense only gave 17 points. I always say, if your team can keep you under 21, you've got a good chance to win this game. Otherwise, your offense needs to have serious questions spoken to them. So we go with the rest of this. Kirk Cousins decides to go on a walk. He gets absolutely killed. Tries to carry the ball for 3 times for 7 yards. And then Ty Chandler goes for 3 carries and gets absolutely fuck all. Nothing. Justin Jefferson had an elite game. He really did. But I believe that was only in the first 2 quarters. Bit like the Kansas City Chiefs when Tyreek Hill went on us in the 2020 season. And then after that, it was bye-bye. Jordan Addison, 61 yards, respectable. TJ Hawkinson, not great, considering how much money they paid him. He got 8 receptions for 35 yards. Nothing to write home about. And then the rest is like tidbits. So their defensively, they were okay. Daniel Hunter got himself a sack. But that was the only sack recorded that I can see here on my little list. That just says to the Buccaneers' protection that they had and the elusiveness. You see that bullfighter move by Baker where he literally just jumps the guy or ducks down? I loved it. I was like, That's the best play we made at that point. We hadn't scored yet. And he just jumped, he just ducks down and the guy goes straight over the top. Loved it. Baker, never changed, man. That guy's nuts. That boy dropped his nuts. And he got us the win. I believe that, and I believe the team believes in him now. He is that dude. Let's see if it can catch some fire. Let's see if it gets some electricity going. And let's see if we can score some more points and become a bit more of a juggernaut. Because this offense only needs to be average. And I mean that. We only need to be average because this defense is above average. It's an elite defense. Yes, we got things to sort out. And I think defensively, we could have been a bit smarter in plays. I don't have the cushion. AJ will get the cushion out. No cushion. I stand by it. No cushion. I don't like it. I don't like seeing it. It doesn't impress me. It doesn't make me feel warm and fuzzy inside. It makes me go, oh dear. I get it on third down. I get it on fourth down. I get it on third down on a bus ride. I don't get it on second down. It's not for me. Let's go through our guys. What have we got? So your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield goes 21-34. Let's say you got to remember, guys, in the first half before we scored, I think he was like 30% on his passes. So that's to bring it up to that level just goes to show how much more consistent he was after halftime. The guy figured things out, didn't turn the ball over. There was a time where I think I saw him running around, and I'm like, he's gonna eat a sack here, isn't he? He just lofts it away. Sometimes there was some really smart stuff. He never played dumb. Sometimes he just played too cautiously and just needed to. Wales had just scored another try against Fiji, so the Wales are up. And I know you guys don't give a rat's hell about this, but Wales are up in the World Cup 30-14 against Fiji, who are a good team. Beat England. Take that, England. Wales fan. So, your Buccaneers. Rachaad White, 17 carries for 40 yards, which is 2.4 a carry, which is not good. That needs looking at. Baker Mayfield goes 21-34 for 173 yards. I think if the Buccaneers were a little bit more clinical in certain areas of the game, I generally believe that we could have walked away with another score. And I honestly believe that. I believe this game should have been a 27-17 game, in my opinion. I believe we let a little bit too much meat on the bone at the beginning. But that being said, I'm nothing but impressed with the way the Buccaneers have performed at the end of it all. I was a little bit worried. And I was even thinking to myself, well, if we lose and we lose close, it's not the end of the world. We got things to fix, but it's not the end of the world. There's something to be. Originally, I had us down as a 50-50. I saw this as a 50-50 game. As they did a few things in the postseason, the preseason with the Vikes, I started to come around to this being like a 70% chance, 60 to 70% win. And it just took time. It took time. The Buccaneers dug deep. Defense looked like they were flying and having fun, so that's always good. Sean Tucker goes for 5 carries with 15 yards with an average of 3 yards a carry. I would not be surprised if they start to split. If Sean Tucker keeps this up and Rachaad White doesn't improve, I would not be surprised if they split the carries a bit more and they go with hot hand. But that's early. We won't talk about that too much. Chase Edmonds goes in for 2, gets himself 8 yards, so he's 4 on a carry, but that doesn't mean anything because guess what? It's two random carries. No one probably thought he was going to get the ball. Play calling to begin with, in my opinion, was a little bit sus. I felt we were just trying. I felt like Dave Canales was trying to overthink everything and try and be a little bit too cerebral about what was going on. So there were times where he just run, and I'm like, dude, like you need a pass now, right? You need a pass. And we'll see what happens. But we have a guest in, and I'm going to bring a gentleman. They got a great show. I don't know if they're still doing it because I've not seen their stuff in a while. But please allow me to bring in Rick from Bucs Live. I hope it's Rick because there are 2 of them. Is that you, Rick?
It is Rick. How are you, man?
How do you feel?
Oh, how do I feel? I feel amazing. Listen, if Tom Brady was our quarterback, we did not win that game.
Nope.
That's a fact. And
The,
anybody who says otherwise, you're lying to yourself. I know there are Baker Mayfield haters, like there were Winston haters, and I get it. Everybody's taking a side, but the bottom line, that guy won us the game. He won us the game with the run. He won us the game with some clutch throws.
yeah,
Um, he wasn't afraid to take a hit. Uh,
he dropped his nuts.
yeah, yeah.
I,
And let
I
me
was
tell you, before but in the pregame show, I called in and predicted 23-17 or 24-17. I missed.
okay, not bad, not bad. 4 points out. That's not bad, mate.
Yeah. It's you can expect a lot of games just like what you saw this week. It doesn't matter if they're playing great teams or teams that are not so good. Expect the games to look like this.
Yeah, and it kind of gives a bit of akin to last season where the scores are low. You're not going to get any like high flying stuff. It's not going to be like a 35-12
Yep.
game or anything like that. It's going to
Yep.
be methodical. It's going to be playing in the right areas at the right time. It's going to be smart football when you need to be smart. It's going to be gutsy football when you need to be gutsy.
Yep, absolutely. And all the people giving Todd Bowles crap for not managing a game, he managed the game very well today. There were some critical things that he did
I think you
that
can
I
get
thought
that
were
with every coach, though. I think people seem to gloss over that sometimes. That every coach kind of makes these. I mean, would I have gone for? Would I have challenged on that? I probably wouldn't have. But people need to understand. It's not just what he sees; it's also what they usually pay somebody to do that job. They have a challenge guy, right? A lot of coaches have a challenge guy that goes
yeah,
challenge that.
yeah. And they
It's not.
actually
It's
did
not
a very
just him.
poor job playing replays
Yeah.
on some big plays. There were some, and by the way, and even at the beginning of the game, Baker threw a deep ball to Mike Evans. We never saw a replay on it, but it looked very catchable.
Yeah. There were
And
there were a couple there were a couple of plays that I think Mike kind of let slip out of his hands, so to speak.
yeah, but
At least two.
yeah, but let me tell you, man, this went exactly to script. This is exactly what the Buccaneers wanted to happen, planned for happening. You get the ball, you run, you're near the end of the game, you're able to run the clock out because you've worn them down throughout the game running the ball. This is exactly what they said they wanted to do. And I mean, you have anybody who's complaining, you just don't know football.
I mean, I would take when I went into the half, I was there. I'd say just before the half, so before the touchdown goes in, I'm there thinking, do we need to look at Trask? And then he has that drive, and I'm thinking, no, this guy's got it. This guy is figuring it out. He's just rusty. Give him a minute because he was making the one thing I will say about him is he wasn't making bonehead plays. It was almost like he was playing too safe.
Well, it was the beginning of the year. He's not turning the ball over. Remember, that's what everybody said. Oh, it's going to be like
Yeah,
Jameis
he's a white
Winston
Jameis
again.
Winston. There's a lot, pretty much the MO on him, right?
Right, and he didn't. There were no even real close to turnovers.
Just wish he
He
wouldn't
took
target O'Keefe so much at the
right.
beginning. I'm like the guy who's not known for catching. Let's keep throwing him the ball. But that was obviously a schemed thing. I think that was a scheme thing rather than him go into the open guy or what have you. I think that was like, let's go to the guy that they don't think is going to get the ball.
Right. It just to me this was all right. Yeah, it was a little rusty. This is the first time they played together. The first half was a little clunky and a little weird, and you can kind of expect that the first time they come out. I mean, yeah, let them all play together for a couple of minutes, and they'll get their sea legs underneath them, and they did.
Absolutely.
So anyway, I wanted to tell you I'm listening to the show, great show, and I'm looking forward to it.
Always pretty. Are you guys still doing Bucs live?
No, not at the moment. It's going to be coming up soon. Just getting
Cool.
getting some new stuff together. New studio is what it is. So
Oh, I like it. So
I
yeah, if you ever
moved.
need a guest, I'll always jump on. Always got time for you, and
Absolutely.
I know appreciate you coming on as well. So
Much appreciated. Go Bucks, go Bucks, go Bucks.
go Bucs. You out now, bro, or do you want to stay on a little bit?
Do you want me to stay on for a little bit? I can stay on.
Of course. I was going to ask you a few questions. I'll tell you the one thing that I was impressed with. I tell you what, let's do it this way. What was the one thing other than Baker Mayfield? Because we have to admit he did step it up when he needed to step up. Like it looked rusty, and then he went through like levels. What was the one thing on an offensive side that you can turn around and defensive side that you turn around and went, wow, that was a weakness, and it's actually a strength. It actually looks pretty good.
Well, Christian Isian, for one thing, you've got to look at that guy and just say,
Just rip
oh,
that ball out. Woo!
what a find. What a crazy, ridiculous find. I mean,
Yeah.
and to recognize it and to commit to it that quickly, good job to the coaching staff. The other thing that on the offensive side, the offensive line, I mean, let me tell you, we really didn't have the issues that we had previously. I mean, yeah, you're going to have a call here and there, something's
Of
going to
course.
happen here or there, but I, you know, guess whose name I really didn't hear the whole game pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
The Luke Gedeke. I mean, I think we heard it once, but everybody rips this guy to shreds. He had a good game. The whole line had a good game.
One
That's a tough
sack.
defense.
One sack.
Yeah, it's a tough defense.
That's considering you lose the nastiness of Ryan Jensen.
Yep.
I mean, basically, if you look at that line as it is, like from an X-ray point of view,
Yep.
it's a completely different line to that won the Super Bowl. There is a member on there, but he's changed positions. Now, he was very quiet, but I always say,
You want quiet.
you want from an offensive line position, the only time you want it to be noisy is if you've got a dominant run game.
Right.
And our run game wasn't dominant, so silent means they did their job in pass protection.
Yep.
And that was for me the same. We were talking about offense, defense. That was the exact same thing. It's like how this offensive line played. It just shows with a little bit of footwork and a little bit of difference in pocket presence. That Baker, he goes off and he charges down and he's bending down. He's diving down to get that first down for us. You can't say that that's a play that Tom Brady's going to make.
I agree completely. And you know football better than me, Coach.
No.
So
We all know football. I always have ability. Everyone has their thing that they're good at. Like I can't grade offensive line and defensive line very well. I know what bad and good looks like. I couldn't grade it to say freaking life.
well, but let me ask you if I'm wrong in this thinking, because this is what I've been saying all off season. I've been predicting the Bucs will be better this year than last year for one reason and one reason alone. The defense can't stack the box. They can't, because some plays could go downfield. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where the quarterback's going to be. So you can't just pile everybody in there.
Yep.
And last year, that's all they did. You couldn't run the ball simply because you had the entire defense up there to stop
9 guys in the box, pretty much.
Right. So, I mean, a lot of that affects the offensive line. People say, "Oh yeah, the line sucked." Well, the line kind of
It wasn't put in the best position of success, was it?
No, when you have a pocket passer that's afraid to stand in the pocket,
like he was last year. I mean, he really was a deer in headlights at times. He would look like a rookie at times. Like I said in my, I've done a video quite recently. I don't know if you catched it. It's a good 10-minute of me just recapping the season in little snippets. And one of the things I did say is like Tom Brady only showed up for like 2 to 4 minutes of every game.
Yeah,
the real Tom Brady stood up in the fourth quarter of every game.
He didn't really want to be there last year.
Nope.
And you could tell after he unretired, it didn't take long for him to go, whoops, what am I doing? And
optimum word there.
Right. And man, you can, even the people, I heard somebody said Baker looks jittery back there, and I saw a couple of other comments ripping on Baker.
And maybe so because of the rust, that's fine.
Well, let me say this. He wanted to be back there.
And I generally think that the vibe I get from him in this team. I mean, I never watched a lot of him in his other teams that he was a part of, so I don't know what his characteristic is. I didn't really watch him in college, but just by watching his body language and his personality, he looks like he wants to be a Buck.
Yeah, that's exactly that is what's so fun about this is. I mean,
But
I've
this could
said
be a
for a couple
forever
of
team
years,
for him, right?
okay,
That's
the circus was fun. It was great to have Brady, but I was kind of done with the circus, and because I was not a Brady fan. I mean, I was a Brady fan because he was our quarterback, and you got to love that. But
cool.
okay, I was kind of ready for the circus to leave town and get back to being a Buccaneers fan.
Yeah, because
And
it was always Tom
today,
Brady and the Buccaneers. It's Tom Brady and the Bucs will do this, and Tom Brady and the Bucs do that. It was never the Buccaneers, was it? Now it's the Buccaneers.
right, I felt like today I watched the Buccaneers. I didn't watch Tom Brady leading the Buccaneers.
But
Um,
if that happened, if this game happened and it was Tom Brady and we did what we did in the same thing, we'll be talking about how Tom Brady saved the Buccaneers,
yeah,
not
yeah,
that the Buccaneers dug
absolutely.
deep and found something within themselves. It was Tom Brady wills this team to win.
Right.
That's the
And
headline.
right. And let me tell you something. Every single that was Dave Canales' first game. One thing I want to point out, there was one great thing was said on the broadcast that made me really, really kind of stop and go, huh, and that makes sense, is the defense. And for the next few weeks, the defenses are gonna have no way to know what our tendencies are
We haven't got any yet.
because he's never called plays, so he has no tendencies.
Yeah,
So
they got to play straight up ball. That's it.
yeah,
It
so
gives you a little bit of an advantage going into that. Now, speaking of Dave Canales, at first I thought he was jittery and in the sense of like he was being really overly cerebral about everything, and it was almost like
yeah,
he was trying to outplay the chess game rather than sometimes you just got to play.
absolutely, absolutely, you're right.
Once he settled in, like that drive to cap off the touchdown was I give it the chef's kiss, and that was really well called, well played, and he's still figuring out at this point, is his team able to run the football at this point, right? Because
Right,
that's basically the first quarter, right? The first quarter is
right.
who can catch the ball, who can throw it can our quarterback deliver the ball. Can we set up play action? We couldn't set up play action. It was not working that well to begin with. And we just kind of got into it, just like he was getting his feet wet in being
Yep.
an OC. We were seeing the exact same thing on the field, and it translated. His confidence kind of set through. Baker's confidence came through, and then all of a sudden you see this kind of a different. I mean, I'm telling you, if there's more time on that clock, the Buccaneers go and score.
Oh, I mean, they could have kicked the field goal from where they were. So
Exactly. And that goal, that I tell you what, that was a decision that I was impressed with by Bowles to put his nuts on the line and go, you know what? I'm going to trust my kicker. Because at first I was a bit like, are we really going to go
that's
for
what
this?
I was doing. I was
You,
doing 57 yards. That's a long way.
have we done one from 57 before? Like, they didn't say it in the broadcast. Usually they say in the
No,
broadcast
I
it would
mean
feel like a team
they
record.
Matt Bryant kicked a 61
Yeah.
yarder to win a game.
But still that 57, and you look at how this Buccaneer team has struggled in the past
Oh yeah.
with place kickers. Now we got one that's looking pretty good. We had one before, just couldn't get nail those long ones, and that's what the Buccaneers were trying to find. They were trying to find that cheaper, let's be honest, cheaper, but still consistent and can kick the long ball when needed. And
Yeah,
we got that
we
today, and
got
that was
when it comes to kicking right now, she's the perfect girl. I mean, I mean, man, when he kicked that, I was just like, oh no. Right when he was getting ready to
when
kick
they
it,
were
I'm like,
signing it
here.
up, and I was like, is he really going to do this? And then it goes through, and I'm like, there's still more on that.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay. I think I even saw in one of my chats going, this guy does not know football. And then the ball goes through, and we're like, I retract everything I just said.
Apparently, I don't know football, right?
But look, when it comes to place kicking, we know that there is a chance you can miss. Even the greats can miss.
Right.
Even the Tuckers and those guys, they can miss. But that was a ballsy call, and it paid off for the Buccaneers because at the end of the day, it was probably the call that realistically won the game.
Yeah,
I mean, you can
I
talk about
agree
the
that,
defensive
and
stand after that, but you still needed points to finish off the game.
I want to bring up one other call that I absolutely loved. It
Go for
totally
it, brother.
caught me off guard, and I was so excited to see it because it was so new for the Bucs. Was third and one, that quick out to Evans that got us the first down. Just we're committed to the
Keep them with
running
their pants
game.
down. They're
Everybody
reeling.
knows it's going to be a run. Everybody, and Evans is in the slot,
Yeah,
and Yeah, Baker just stood up and hit
Drilled it.
Evans, and Evans was 3 yards downfield, and I'm like, that just happened. I mean, I didn't see it coming at all. Wasn't paying any attention to him. Nothing.
No,
And as soon as he threw the ball to him, I thought, holy crap, he's wide. I mean, he's got that easy. And yeah, man, it just seemed like decisions that were made in
no.
crunch time. Oh,
Especially in that second half, it was
yeah,
almost like the Buccaneers, sea legs, like you said, just had to get the play calling right, get themselves play calling. Hey,
yeah.
Justin Jefferson went off and got himself 150 yards. I don't remember his name being called that much in the second half.
Who's that?
Exactly.
Oh, Jefferson.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his first half was definitely bigger than the second half. There's no doubt about that. So whatever the adjustments were,
It
yeah.
would.
And we
But we know
have
this
to.
is kind of Bowles' MO when it comes to calling defense. And I've always said this: like, don't be surprised if the Buccaneers give give up a score, even if it's the first drive. Don't be surprised because that's usually what he uses. Now, I've got a theory that I think it might be a little bit out there, and it's something that me and AJ clash on a little bit on our show on the Aftermath. Is he hates cushion coverage, but I've also said this cushion coverage allows you to see the true route because there's no collision, there's no nothing. You don't.
Right.
It is the honest route,
Right.
right? Because you're allowing it to open, and you do that a few times. You know what they like to call.
Oh, that
Oh,
makes sense.
he likes to run this and this. He likes to run out and
You see,
in and
that's
out.
why I say you know football better than me, because that makes total sense.
I
It's
think.
something I had never thought of, and that makes
Oh,
total
that's the
sense.
dyslexic thinking. I'm not that smart, dude.
Well,
but
no, that I had never thought about that, and that makes total sense. You got
you do. You get
let's
to see
sit
the
back,
full
let's let the route develop, let's see what they're doing, and then we know.
sandpit.
Yeah, that makes that we know what to adjust to. That makes total sense.
Because in press you can't see the true route because they're adjusting to your press, so you
Yeah,
never see the real route. Like it
yeah.
might have been a slant, but they've adjusted it to kind of turn into this kind of go-ish slanty thing. So you don't
Well,
know it was actually a slant. You don't know if it was a 0 slant. You don't know if it was a 5 yard
yeah,
slant. You don't know if it was a 3 yard slant.
yeah.
You just
So
know it's kind of an inbreaker somewhere.
we got the Bears next week, correct?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll probably actually be favored in that game,
Yep.
and then yeah, I mean it's man, this was a big game when it comes to the start of the season.
The Buccaneers could be look. Would you be surprised? Would you be shocked if the Buccaneers go into week 4 at 3-1? Sorry, go into the bye week 3-1.
Not now. If you asked me this morning, I would. I'd say, yeah, I'd probably be a little surprised. But now I'm not. Now, no. I mean, who is it? Chicago
Then Saints,
Saints, and then
and then
Philly.
it will be the Eagles.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I could. I could see us being
I mean,
3-0.
I'd say right now, I would say if the Buccaneers walk into that 2-2, that's expected.
Yeah, and when the season started, that's what I said we needed to be was 2-2
Yeah,
going into the bye.
absolutely,
And this was a big game when it came to that because we had to win either this game or that New Orleans game if you were hoping for 2-2.
for
Well, we
sure.
got the
And I
hard
mean,
one out of the
we're all
way.
looking at the Eagles, going, okay, if the Buccaneers catch them with their pants down, maybe they can do a thing.
Right.
And the defense could still, like, if they have like a producing number, like, well, we've got 4 takeaways.
3.
3 takeaways. We got the pick and we got the 2 fumble recoveries. And I
Right.
tell you what, if there's one person who needed to play well in where his dad played,
Oh
Antoine
yeah.
Winfield played well.
Yeah, Antoine had
That was a nice thing to see, and I
yeah.
don't remember them bringing up much in the broadcast, but him playing where his dad playing in the stadium. Well, it wasn't the
Yeah,
stadium, but
they said he grew up being a Vikings fan.
yeah.
Yeah, they said that during the broadcast.
That's cool. I mean, I had 2 toddlers, a toddler and an
Yeah.
8-year-old running around, so I didn't really catch much of the broadcast. So there were a couple of things unknown to me, but
Right.
it was great to see that he had that impact on the game too. Like every time, I mean, his tackles must have been high as well. Like the amount of tackles he got. I mean, I know Devin led the team.
Yeah.
We got. Let's have a quick look here. We'll go. Antoine Winfield goes for a total of 8 tackles.
Yeah. Yeah. What did Devin White do?
12.
Yeah.
12 tackles, and then Vontae goes for eight himself. Ryan Neal goes for 6. They were swarming. Every time someone made
Yeah.
it, touched a guy, there's 3 other guys to like kind of knock him down.
Yeah.
Just really pleased with how we played defensively, considering the yardage that Minnesota racked up on us.
Yep.
They should have been They should have been favored way more points than they actually got. But it just shows this Buccaneer let you get the Buccaneer team, and this is a Coach Bowles thing. I'm telling you, Buccaneers fans, Coach Bowles allows you to get within range, and then he'll knock you out. That's what he does.
Well, that's
You
what
look at
happened.
it statistically, teams get in the red zone and don't come away with points because we get the takeaways there. We're not a takeaway team. We let them get into a position. I don't know why. I don't know if there's a scheme to that, or they focus more on the red zone plays than they do on the other stuff.
Well,
Because
there's less field to cover too.
exactly, of course. You know,
So,
that's just science, right? That's just
yeah.
distance. There's trigonometry. There's
Right.
only a little. If you've only got to cover 20 blades, 20 yards of grass, you're covering 20 yards of grass. That's it.
Right. So yeah, that's I don't know. When I watch this whole thing, the most exciting thing is, holy cow, man, Christian Izzian is the real deal. I don't know. I mean, to get this guy undrafted out of Rutgers, and then they had the balls to, without question, they didn't. You know, it's funny because all preseason when they'd ask who's going to be a starting quarterback, well, we'll decide later. It's still a competition. They kept asking about all these different positions, but nope, they just said Christian Izzian's our starter. I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean there were reports out there. Could it be Delaney again?
Yep.
Because they didn't want to keep putting Antoine Winfield in there because
Yep.
they wanted him to roam the field and make knockout punches, and he was effective at doing that. Every time someone caught a ball in space,
Yep.
he was flying down on them.
We were hitting, man. I mean,
The tackling was good. The coverage was suspect to begin with, and I think we just kind of settled into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like I said, Coach Bowles likes to see the plays. I think he likes to get a feel for a team, and then he's like, right, okay, guys, this is what we're doing.
Did you
And
see
then shuts it down.
Vita Vea level Levante David?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he leveled the hardest hit of the entire game. Anything was Vita Vea crushed Levante David.
They might have a few choice words after enjoying a few pops.
I mean, that was brutal. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna run, man. But
No worries.
man, I appreciate you.
Rick,
and
you guys doing when you guys coming back?
I do not know, but I promise I will let you know.
Okay, you let me know, and you'll probably be coming through it. We'll be coming to see you soon, and keep up the good stuff, Rick. Much love.
Sounds great, man.
See you soon, brother.
Bye-bye.
A toddler and an 8-year-old sounds very like my distractions today, 9 and 19 months. Yeah, they have a habit. Mine, I say toddler. He's not really a toddler. I call him a toddler because he just runs around like a nutcase. He's actually almost 5. An 8-year-old and 5-year-old that love to hate each other, but hate not being around each other. It's weird. Like those 2 kids could be next to each other and they will piss each other off. You separate them, and it's almost like they're 2 pining dogs needing to get to each other. And then the moment you put them together, they start fighting again. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Devin White came to play. Absolutely. So just to recap this before I go off, guys, the aftermath will be tomorrow. Usually try and go 24 hours or 9:30 Eastern. 9:30 Eastern, the aftermath. This is where it's more reactionary. This is like genuine, like how you're getting me straight off the game, right? Tomorrow I'm going to be a bit more in my feelings. Me and AJ are going to get into it, and we're going to find a few things. We might disagree on a few things. We'll probably agree on a few more things. We'll talk about what we like, what we didn't like. A bit like this, but a bit more meat on the bone, so to speak. So 9 p.m. tomorrow, 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Check us out. We will be going for it. Guys, appreciate it. Bucs get the dub. And guys, enjoy your Victory Monday. I don't know if you guys have traditions or anything like that. But for me, I will just be enjoying a nice cup of coffee, and I'm going to have a few drinks now. Got my shades, victory shades. Give it the and I'm going to relax with my wife and enjoy a few beverages. And I will see you guys soon. So, Bucs on me, Bucs on free. 1, 2, 3, go Bucs!